Welcome back, everybody. Danny here with Dan's Racing and Simulations. Thanks so much for joining in. Today we got something a little bit outside the box here. I've been doing some testing. You guys know, if you watch my last couple videos, I was having some issues with my computer because of an update for Windows. So I think I've got most of that pretty much figured out. And while I was doing some testing, I was just doing various cars on the track, messing around here in Project Cars 2, and I thought of something that I think may be kind of a neat idea in the name of science, in the name of an experimentation. And so, yeah, you can see that I am currently sitting in VR in a Toyota GT86. This is pretty well known as a very well-balanced car. It's not a very fast car, but it's a premium when it comes to fun factor and a pretty decent handling vehicle that you would see every day on the road. I believe this car is somewhere in between $24,000 and $32,000. What you see out to the left over there is a modern iteration of a Formula One car. And what I'm setting off to do in today's video is just to find out exactly how much faster a Formula One, a modern Formula One, is than a car like this style car, something that you would see a budget-friendly sports car, quote unquote, that you would see on the street. So what we're going to do is, my goal of today is to see if I can get all the way around the Nurburgring once in this Toyota GT86 before that Formula One car laps me. That's my goal. I haven't tested this. I do not know if I will or not, but I think it'll be pretty interesting. I think it'll be pretty fun. We're talking about just under 200 horsepower in this car, something like 3,000 pounds, where that Formula One car, I think, comes in about 1,500 pounds, 800 horsepower, and you're talking about a 200 plus mile an hour vehicle. So this will be pretty interesting. Like I said, the goal here is to try to make it around Nurburgring one time in the GT86 without the Honda Formula One car over there lapping us. I do not know if it will or not, but again, this is in the name of science, just in the name of fun. So let's go ahead and see what we can do here. Obviously, it's going to pull away like you would expect. I'm going to do my best to get around this track clean. This is a very, very long and demanding track, even for the fastest cars, like a Formula One. But the amount of downforce a Formula One has, as opposed to a standard street car, is just an enormous difference. So you would think that as far as handling, it should be able to out-handle this like 4 times as good as what a street car would. You know, everybody knows that a Formula One is a fast car. That's not anything that anybody ever argues. Nobody would ever argue that, but I've just always kind of been curious how much faster it is than a road car. And I wanted to think of a interesting way how I could test that out. And I thought, well, this would be pretty interesting. Obviously, it's not a fair fight when you just go GT86 versus Formula One on a one-lap race. Obviously, there's no comparison. There's no justice there for the GT86. But I thought it would be an interesting comparison to see if the GT86 could just finish one lap without being lapped. I would like to think that it can, because that Formula One would be covering a lot of ground. It would have to cover just a tremendous amount of ground to go all the way around this humongous track and then come back around it a second time and catch up with me. Eventually, one way or the other, he will catch me. I don't know if it'll be in the first lap. If it's not in the first lap, I'm going to keep running through, and I'm going to see just exactly how long it takes for that monster to catch us. So discuss a little bit while we're driving here. I had, as you guys know, I mentioned earlier in the video, and if you've seen any of my last two videos as I go off in the grass a little bit there, been having some issues with my computer ever since I did the Windows, what do they call it, the fall create or the autumn creators update, and it just kept seeming like Microsoft was wanting to force that update on me. So finally I gave in and I allowed it to update. Lo and behold, just like has happened before to me in the past, I update and my computer pretty much falls out of the sky. Get ridiculous frame drops, ridiculous stuttering, which is stupid because this is a very strong system. It performed very well for the first 3 or 4 months that I owned it, and all because of a stupid update, it pretty much falls on its face. Now, after doing a lot of research, talking to a lot of people, what I ended up... Come on now. Yeah, that was a waste of a downshift. What I ended up finding out is that there was a more stable version of Windows available, but you had to opt into this program that Microsoft has so that you can get builds earlier. So I did. I opted into that program, and I got a newer build than is typically available to the public. And I got it installed last night, got everything running right, and last night it seemed like everything was smooth sailing. I was convinced that it had pretty much fixed my problem. But today I am noticing that I am still getting not as many, but still a significant amount of frame rate drops and stutters, which is a pain. So I'm hoping that I can... I'm hoping something gives here, because the only other option I have is to revert my computer back to the factory settings from when I purchased it. And if I do that, then I have to reinstall all my games, all my editing software, so that will be a royal pain in the ass. But it will be worth it if it fixed the problem, which I really honestly thought up until right now that I had resolved the issue, but I'm definitely seeing some stuttering. And I took many cars out for a drive yesterday on this track, and everything was fine, but I am definitely seeing quite a bit of stuttering now, which is a pain in the ass. So I can only make a guess of where that Formula 1 car is. I would say it definitely has finished a lap. If I had to make a guess right now, I'm going to say that he's not going to lap us on the first lap. Because we are about, I'd say, 80% done with this course. Now, he does have a much, much higher top speed than me. I think this car runs somewhere around 140 miles an hour flat out. And so we'll be running about 140 down the back straightaway, and he's going to run well over 200 miles an hour. So if he's anywhere near me when we get on that straightaway, surely he will pass me there. But again, this is a very, very long track, and I just don't know, even as fast as a car, I keep checking the mirror, even as fast as a car as a Formula 1 is, I just don't think it has what it will take to lap even a slower street car like this before I finish one lap. But only time will tell here. We're getting pretty close to the end. I've got the aggression on that AI at the maximum. It's up as high as it'll go, and the performance of him is up as high as it will go as well. So he should be giving it everything that the AI driver has to offer. And right now I am all by myself on this track, and I am still seeing some stuttering issues, which is extremely frustrating. I swear last night, and we're about to go over this second carousel here. Now this is a telltale sign that you're ending the, getting near the end of this lap. But I swear last night, it was pretty much running butter smooth with a very, very occasional frame rate drop. And now, it's really having some trouble. And we are on the straight. I'm going to give it everything it's got. We'll probably, obviously the speedometer's in kilometers, but I'm going to say we're going to hit somewhere around 140 miles an hour. Maybe a little more, maybe a little less. And if I can get to the end of this straightaway without seeing him in my mirror, I'm fairly confident that we will have finished this lap without him passing us. So things are looking up right now. So while Formula One cars are extremely fast, this kind of gives you an idea of the relative aspect of how much faster they are than an actual road car. Because this is probably one of the slower road cars. I'd almost not even consider this a sports car. It's very low on power. And we are getting ready to cross the finish line. Nope, so he did not get us on lap 1. I can't say that I'm too surprised. We're going to keep right on rolling here and see if he can catch us on lap 2. Now, I would be very surprised if he did not catch us in lap 2. Very, very surprised. Unless he just wrecked out somewhere, which I doubt is the case. This little Toyota GT86 does handle very well. I do love the way it corners. It has really good turn-in. I've used this car in many games, more than just Project Cars 2, and it's the one thing I really like about this little car. It's not high on power, but it has really good turn-in. Now, if we finish a second lap before he catches us, I can only say that he must have wrecked or something. I hope not. But I'd be very surprised if he did not catch us. I mean, he's got 4 times the... I gotta be careful in that corner right there. He's got 4 times the horsepower that we have, and he's half the weight. So realistically, he should be way, way faster. But again, this is a very demanding track, as I said earlier, and it's a lot of ground to cover. Even in the fastest car, it just takes a long time to get around this track one time. If I would have thought about it, I would have turned on the map, because then at least if I had the map on, I would have been able to see once he got close to me. I just saw a lap delta pop up on the screen, and I know, guys, I'm not running a perfect driving line, and I'm not running the best laps I probably could here, but I'm trying to make sure I don't go off. Again, that was a wasted downshift. I am running a, you guys can probably hear it clanking in the background. I am running my TH8A gated shifter. This is a 6-speed manual transmission. I am using the clutch, as you would expect. Oh, it went off a little bit there. I keep checking my mirrors. I'm not hearing or seeing him. I know I've said this a couple times, but I would really, really be surprised if he does not lap us in this second lap. I honestly thought that he wouldn't lap us in the first lap, but I did think it would be pretty close. I hope that I can get this computer worked out soon, because this is really bothering me. I may have to resort, which is really stupid, but I may have to resort to getting away from VR for a little while until Microsoft can work this problem out. But it's a shame to have paid so much money to have a decent system and not be able to utilize it. And I'm not the only person who's having this issue. There is a lot of people who are having this issue as well. I don't remember doing a driver update other than a driver that may have come with the update to Windows. But I know I didn't manually do a driver update that I can remember. Here's the first carousel. So here again, we're getting very close. Man, that car just breezes through that carousel. It's pretty awesome. Here we are again, about 75–80% done with the lap. And there is no Formula One car in sight to be seen. I thought for sure by now he would have come past me. Very, very surprised about that. Really makes me think, you know, give additional thought to how much faster a Formula One really is. Maybe it's not that much faster. Maybe it's not as fast as I'm thinking it is. I know when I take the Formula One cars around a track like this, or any track really, it feels so much faster, without a doubt. But that AI sure is not lapping me yet. I don't even hear him. And I'm not running as hard as I could. I really could be running a lot harder. If I finish this lap and he has not passed me, I'm just going to pull over and wait for him. And just see how much longer it takes. This video is ending up not being as exciting as I thought it was going to be. I really thought he was going to catch me. I'm curious to know if I am just seeing the stutters through the headset. I don't know if those stutters are actually showing up in the gameplay that I'm recording, because the image is basically mirrored on screen. Hopefully it looks smooth to you guys. here we are back in the straightaway again. And I'm looking in my mirrors and I do not see a Formula One car anywhere in sight. But it should be so much faster, I would think. It should have caught us by now. I mean, that doesn't make any sense. He has to be very close behind. This is a very tight and technical course, but there are a lot of straightaways where you can get a very enormous amount of speed. And he is running probably 50 miles an hour faster than me through those straightaways. And that should make a big difference. But here we are, getting ready to finish up lap 2. And not a Formula One car in sight. So what I'm going to do here, guys, is I'm actually just going to pull over. I'm going to make a U-turn, and I'm going to wait for him. Because he has to be close. Has to be close. Just has to be close. There's no way. So, discussion time here. Tell me what you guys think. Maybe I just had the math wrong in my head, but I really thought that a car that would be 4 times as fast, half as heavy, on a long course like this, I would have thought by somewhere in the middle, the beginning to the middle of the second lap, for me, he would have caught me. But maybe I'm just crazy. He must have wrecked. That's the only thing I can think. But what I'll do is, I'm not going to make you guys sit here for this. I will just speed the video up right here, and I'll let you know about how long I had to sit for him to catch up. There he goes. Alright, so I realized at the last second that he was coming around, and literally I probably sat for another 2 to 3 minutes after the last time we talked, and he finally came by. So I'm actually very surprised with that. I probably could have got nearly, I would say, 1/2 to 3/4 of the way done with a third lap before he would have caught me, more than likely. Maybe even finished the third lap. So I'm actually pretty surprised about that. That's completely different. That's a completely different outcome than I thought would happen. But anyways, hopefully I didn't bore you guys with this. It was definitely different than I thought it was going to be when I first started it. But hey, it was for the name of fun and for the name of science, just to test that out, to see how much faster a Formula One car is than a standard road variant or a road car that is like a sports car. And ended up being not nearly as much faster as I thought it would be, even though they are obviously very fast cars. So thanks so much for joining in, guys. I'm going to end this one here. I will chat with you in the next video.